All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between Infi versus Life taking place here on Echo Isles. This is going to be, once again, a Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match, and the reason why I'm casting so many Night Elf games is because, well, they're highly recommended, and, well, a lot of players have switched to Night Elf recently. Infi being one of those Night Elf players, or former human players now making the transition over to Night Elf. And I really think it's because human players just really don't have an identity anymore. Casters are no longer a very viable identity because Dryads, Destroyers, there's so many anti-caster units out there that aside from using units to heal, you don't really use any units to slow. There's no debuffs, anything of that nature. Also, the fact that there are units that are magic immune that deal a good amount of damage as well does cause a lot of problems overall. And with the reduction and the strength of some of the, well, with the overall buff to range units in general and the overall weakness now of mortar teams, the whole entire mech human strategy, so to speak, is now no longer that common, and people have just gone away from it. We are going to be looking at a Keeper of the Grove versus Keeper of the Grove matchup. No big surprises here, but these players will be doing different types of strategies. Life opting to go over here. I believe this is Life. If I am wrong, I do apologize. Life opting to go off over here. We'll be clearing out the mercenary creep camp. Meanwhile, Infi is red off over here, I believe. Going to be clearing out this 3-3-3 creep camp as the archer is actually taking a lot of damage. Oh, this could be very bad. And yeah, is Infi gonna... Oh, backs off in time. Wow. That archer down to 14 hit points and barely survives as the Keeper of the Grove now makes its way out. Keeper of the Grove should be able to finish off that Ogre Warrior without any problem. Should be making its rounds to finish off the Forest Troll Trapper now. As you take a look, what is going on here? Forest Troll Trapper, Ancient of War should perhaps make its way closer to that Forest Troll Trapper before the Archer continues to fire back. Let's take a look back across here. Keeper of the Grove already has the Claws of Attack +6, trying to make rounds and trying to do a lot of damage and disrupt this particular creep camp. Forest Troll Shadow Priest has been hired up already. That is incredibly important in the matchup, as you really want to try and use that abolish magic to remove force of natures and do damage here. All right, in comes the damage. Are we going to see some detonations? Yes, you are. Detonation right there by a wisp makes some short work. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove going off onto that Shadow Priest, trying to take him down. Shadow Priest is already down to 66 hit points. However, the Keeper of the Grove is currently out of the battle for a little bit of time. Is he going to be able to finish it? No, he will not, as the Keeper of the Grove forced to retreat, as his opponent would have been able to get an entangle off to try and finish off that Keeper of the Grove. Going back the other way, the Ents are trying to do a little bit more damage here. You can take a look. The trees of the Ancient of War trying to fight back against all of these trees here. Is it going to end up working out? Keeper of the Grove now shows up to the party, as we may see a Forest Troll Shadow Priest get taken down. No, you do not. Well, you still may have it, as you see the Keeper of the Grove now show up there, finishes that off, gets some more Ents to join in on the fight. Only one, though, miscasts the Force of Nature summon, as the Tree of Life ends up getting taken down. Keeper of the Grove escapes at 26 hit points. Narrow escapes by the red Night Elf player. Meanwhile, he has tech to tier 2 already, and now even Blue has tech to tier 2 after canceling, I believe, that Tree of Life, giving him enough gold to try and upgrade instead. Interesting choice, as it is going to be a little bit of an overall switch as opposed to the original strategy. Keeper of the Grove holding on to a Ring of Regeneration, one of those items that, well, is useful in and out of combat, but at the same time, is it better to have other items out on the field? Keeper of the Grove still wandering around here, going to be picking up some of those Tomes of Strength, still wandering back through, as it will end up taking down that Null Poacher. Meanwhile, back down across here, Keeper of the Grove versus Keeper of the Grove, damage is being done. However, with that Ring of Regeneration, well, it should not really matter very much. It's all going to be superficial damage. I do not believe that Keeper of the Grove will be falling down anytime soon. Keeper of the Grove of Blue going toe-to-toe against this Force of Nature. Now Keeper of the Grove just prancing back away. Meanwhile, you take a look, Ancient of War suffering a lot of damage at the hands of Murlocs, as units are now being forced to try and pull back. poison going down across multiple units as well. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove going straight after these other creep camps here, actually clearing out this creep camp by opening up the trees. However, the Keeper of the Grove is actually going to end up taking a lot of melee damage as well. The Keeper of the Grove does get up to level 3. This Keeper of the Grove should be able to pick up the Wand of Mana Stealing. Nicely done there. Meanwhile, Wisp going to come across. There's a double detonation as units are now taken down. And just continuing to be trained up here. Keeper of the Grove, interesting use of the tree destruction mechanic here on Echo Isle. Meanwhile, archers are trying to pin down that Keeper of the Grove as the damage is pretty much mitigated off by that Ring of Regeneration. Ensnare finally going down here. Wand of Mana Steal. This Keeper of the Grove could end up getting taken down. 75 mana. Are we going to perhaps see an Entangle? No, we are not. We are taking a look at both sides. We should perhaps see, are we going to perhaps see a summon as that Forest Troll Shadow Priest could get taken down, trying to chase after units again, as you see that Keeper of the Grove sitting at 276 hit points and now trying to retreat. I would have sworn, or I would have expected to see some of these units actually getting taken out with a little bit more focus fire. Instead, Red Night Elf is playing a rather different game than expected, as you are taking a look at Shadow Neld being used by all of these archers here. All right, Keeper of the Grove could try and entangle here, poke damage across multiple units onto that Keeper of the Grove. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove trying to escape away again, and still this is not looking good, as both sides are just exchanging damage back and forth. Wand of Mana Stealing being used, down to 62, down to 55 hit points, down to 50, as the Keeper of the Grove looks like it will be able to escape, I believe, ever so barely, picking up a Tome of Agility and a Circlet of Nobility. 2 items, very much worth it, as the Keeper of the Grove still doing a bit of scouting. Units will not be able to catch up to that, as the Alchemist, what is this Alchemist doing? The Alchemist is just on the opposite side, wandering around on the inside here. Is he purposely trying to get attacked by a tree? Not quite sure what is going on, as the Alchemist now looking to back up. All right, let's take a look. Keeper of the Grove has Staff of Teleportation back off to the north. Archer, Alchemist going to be coming across here. We should be looking at perhaps some healing spray onto that Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove is very low on hit points, trying to summon up some more Ents as the Moonwells may get taken down. Taking down very full Moonwells, incredibly important strategy at this point and stage in the game, as Wisp are getting taken out as well. Let's take a look back from the other side. Alchemist shows up to the party. Alchemist trying to show up, however, gonna get taken down very fast, and now retreating back once more as the Keeper of the Grove arrives to the party with the remaining units. Goblin Alchemist, Acid Bomb onto some of those units here. What is going on? Why Acid Bomb and then run? Better to just save the mana, as we're taking a look at, well, archers, and archers finishing off or forcing a Wisp detonation. Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 3. This game has not gone in any real way that I expected. We are now going into Glaive Throwers. Glaive Throwers, 300 hit points. They are mechanical siege units, and one of the questions I often get asked are, well, if Glaive Throwers are now viable, how come mortar teams are not? And it really has to go down to one is a mechanical unit and one is a biological unit. Biological units have, or at least on mortar teams, actually have become a little bit weaker. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove now getting entangled back on the inside here. Let's take a look. Acid Bomb, no Acid Bomb, as that priest, or as that Keeper of the Grove now looking to back off to the north. Meanwhile, bears getting added in by life. Druid of the Claw, Rejuvenation, very, very powerful ability. We are going into Tree of Ages, which means that we should be also going into a Tree of Eternity. Are bears going to be actually useful in the matchup, or will they simply just become entangled bait? Let's take a look at this, as the Wisp could try detonation. There's one detonation going to finish off 1-2, finishing off the remaining units there, as the Keeper of the Grove sits at level 3. Solo Wisp in the center portion of the map, keeping track of this army. Druid of the Claw being brought over. Rejuvenation could be used onto that Keeper of the Grove to try to keep it full on life. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove of Red now going after this mercenary camp here, finally summoning some of those Ents to join in on the fight. A quick purge, dealing damage onto that Force of Nature down to pretty much dead already. Meanwhile, Glaive Throwers using that superior distance to fight safely from very far away, but a little bit of that splash damage is rolling over onto the Alchemist, I believe. Let's take a look. Nope. not dealing that damage there. All right, glaive throwers, 4 glaive throwers out onto the field. We're going to see an engagement here. Glaive throwers, bears, are they going to be able to catch up onto that target? As you can take a look, acid bomb across that forest troll shadow priest, a little bit of damage being dealt there. Glaive thrower, acid bomb does not affect him, even though he was standing right next to that archer. And as we're now taking a look at, well, Ents just getting taken down left and right. Alchemist does have a ring of regeneration that will definitely help, but it's generally better on your higher armor unit, as the higher armor unit, the flat regeneration of 2 hit points a second is better when you have higher armor. Don't ask me to explain that. I can probably do it in a video some other time. Now, Alchemist, Keeper of the Grove, sitting at level 3 each. Both sides have not opted to set up any expansions as of yet, and even though this is a Night Elf mirror match, the armies could not be more different. Glaive throwers and archers essentially mass units from the Ancient of War. Meanwhile, he's going to be going up against bears, archers bears with rejuvenation and roar. Very different types of armies, as the Ents are now being brought over here. All right, bear's going to go ahead and try and engage. There's that entangle. That is such a big deal. Force Troll Shadow Priest should perhaps be trying to abolish that. That 4 supply unit just in the back, not doing very much of anything. Keeper of the Grove, however, easy to chase down those glaive throwers, as that, well, there goes the Alchemist. Alchemist finally gets to level 2. Scroll of Town Portal finally being used here, as the units are now trying to fight back. Druid of the Claw does get taken down. Units will be teleporting back. And where are all of these units going to be running off to next? Alchemist sitting up at 5.2 armor now, as an Ancient of War should end up getting taken down. But still, we don't see any sort of, repairing on that glaive thrower yet. Wisp are being brought over. 50 supply compared to 49. Overall army size is about the same, as Clarity Potions and Staff of Teleportation, Alchemist able to get back into the fight in just a moment. Alright, archers and dryads and bears going up against glaive throwers. Glaive throwers with that 53 to 104 damage, and because of their relatively slow attack speed, they're able to, well, hit and move and actually be microed with some sort of stutter step. Dryads now joining in on this fight here. Well, there goes one Dryad already. In comes some Ents being brought back over. There's some detonations. Wisp now trying to be used as well, as the Keeper of the Grove trying to back up, continually repairing again. Archers falling at the hand of the bears. The bears definitely have more hit points, as this fight is raging through. 46 supply compared to 43 units are opting to be repaired in this fight here, as the Keeper of the Grove uses, well, anti-magic potion to try and stay alive. Blue does have home field advantage. Glaive throwers trying to fight their way through. Are they going to be able to finish off anything? No, they are not. Forest Troll Shadow Priest, bears, many of them in the red. Meanwhile, up at the opposite end, a handful of very low hit point glaive throwers also joining in on the fight. We are looking now at 6 glaive throwers. Their movement speed, well, a little bit slow, as the units are now trekking out across the field again. 46 supply compared to 48. It may come down to hero levels. Level 4, level 3 going up against a level 4, level 3, I believe. No, level 2.5. Still not quite in position. Now, let's slow things down. What is Red really trying to do here? Red is just trying to constantly keep pressure, and he knows that he can afford to buy some time, as we're going to be looking at the glaive throwers and just finishing off this Ancient of Wonders and perhaps taking down a number of key buildings. This Tree of Life is going to end up getting taken out, but how many buildings can be destroyed in the same amount of time? Let's take a look at this. Tree of Eternity already down to 1,200 hit points. It could end up dropping very quickly. No Scroll of Town Portal back, and that would be a big loss right there. No Scroll of Town Portal to head back at all. Keeper of the Grove and the Alchemist didn't even have one on them, so it was pretty much a one-way journey anyways. All right, let's take a look at this. Moonwells, the main buildings now to take out. And without Moonwells, not much can be done, and it may turn into a straight-up base race. As we're taking a look, Wisp, is there enough gold to really build any additional buildings? It is going to be an Ancient of Wonders down here. Let's take a look at this straight-up base race. Staff of Preservation sent back the Alchemist. Glaive Throwers are all here. Ents are going to try to join in on the fight as the Bears are now looking to pull back. No idea of how Blue is going to be able to get any more additional gold. He is no longer mining as the Glaive Throwers are fighting back against this really crazy tight spot. Huntress is joining in on the fight. Bears trying to dive in across all of those Glaive Throwers. Bears, are they going to be able to finish it off as they do have a large amount of hit points here? Staff of Preservation tries to save some units, only to teleport them straight into the clutches of another Bear. There is the Entangle. Keeper of the Grove down to 97 hit points. Could get taken out. Red, where's it going to try and go? Able to Scroll of Town Portal back to this Tree of Ages. Can't get very far. And now you're going to take a look at, well, all the units right here again. Red trying to heal all of the units as Staff of Preservation saves that Keeper of the Grove in the backfield. Keeper of the Grove continuing the fight. As you can see, more damage is being dealt across the board. Keeper of the Grove uses a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, trying to finish off unit left and right. 19 supply compared to 27. Who's going to come out on top? This low hit point Keeper of the Grove could get taken down, and he does, giving Red the victory. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.